You're watching News 10, where your local news begins now. Your connection in Southern Oregon and Northern California. This is News 10 at 6.
Wildfires destroying entire neighborhoods, water from a melting glacier taking out mountain roads, and reservoirs at record low levels. Firefighters and meteorologists agree the effects of a drought are hitting us hard. Good evening. I'm Trish Close.
I'm Dave DeRorange. Thanks for joining us. Limiting water to thousands of customers for farms, cattle, and vineyards, the drying up of local creeks forced the Talent Irrigation District to shut off water to the Rogue Valley District today. News 10's
Aaron Nilsson spoke with one winemaker concerned with the turnoff. That's tonight's top story at 6.
In early spring, we knew that with no snowpack in the mountains that water could be an issue this summer, so we prepared pretty early.
Superintendent of Public Works with Ashland, Mike Morrison, says the city started using Talent Irrigation District water in June. Morrison says the residents are doing a great job at reducing their water usage this summer. Normally, he says, summer water usage is about 6 million gallons per day, and this summer is only about 4 million per day.
Water use is something that's been in the forefront of everybody's mind lately, and they've been really good about it. So we just continue to put the message out there that use the amount of water, or use the water you're using wisely. Don't use any more than you have to, and if we all do that, we should be able to get back to the rainy season to where it's not an issue again.
Morrison says their reservoir is 98% full with about 280 million gallons and should last between 40 and 50 days. Quail Run Winery and Talent co-owner Don Moore says the heat this summer ripened the grapes faster than usual, and so the water cutoff now shouldn't affect his business. Despite that, Moore says people outside of the wine industry should help conserve the water to help everyone.
We need to look to California, which has had this problem more in other parts of the country, see what they've done.
Moore says it's hard to predict how long the current drought may last and what the future holds, so he will adjust his techniques for growing grapes. He says the key is allowing the roots to grow out further horizontally instead of vertically into the ground.
If you can spread them out and by using some sprinklers or drippers that spread the water out, the roots go out and they have a much larger area to pull water from, is one of the things we're doing.
Covering your news, Aaron Nilsson, News 10.
Lakes and reservoirs across Jackson County are almost completely empty. Agate Reservoir is only 3% full. Immigrant Lake only has 8% of its water left. According to the National Drought Mitigation Center, drought is affecting roughly 1 million people in Oregon.
Today, 98% of the state is in some form of the drought, from a third of Oregon in an extreme drought. Look at the difference from last year, where only 10% of the state was in red. Meteorologists predict the drought may last into next year.
Record-breaking summer heat may have caused the mudslide near Mount Shasta over the weekend. Crews are working to clear 2 roads covered by the largest mudslide on the mountain in 20 years. U.S. Forest Rangers say since there isn't enough snowpack insulating glaciers on the mountain, they melt faster. This causes a sudden release of melted glacier water to rush down the hill. Well, we may soon see a slight relief from these dry conditions.
But too much rain too soon could be a problem. News 10 meteorologist Kevin Lawless explains what you can expect this week. Kevin.
That's right, guys. Despite the fact that we expect to see some rain over the next several days, we still have red flag warnings up for fire danger, so it's going to be dry both tonight and tomorrow for the most part. Then another round of wet weather moves in. Right now, showers showing up on the radar, primarily along the coast and the Coast Range Mountains. But so far, not a lot of this rain is actually making it all the way down to the ground. In some cases, as you mentioned, that could be a good thing. We don't necessarily want to see a lot of rain too quickly because that could cause major problems for us in terms of mudslides on those areas that have been burned by fires. Meanwhile, we've got thunder and lightning showing up in areas off to the north and east, especially in northern Klamath and Lake counties. That should continue through this evening, and temperatures are still quite warm, around 80 to 85 in most of the inland valleys. Now tomorrow, we should see this first wave roll through. We'll dry out a bit, see some sunshine and a little cloud cover, daytime highs in the mid-80s. Then the real rainstorm comes in for tomorrow night, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And at that point, we'll be having a serious discussion about whether or not heavy rain will cause mudslides in all of those areas that have been burned by wildfires this summer. Talk more about the details in a few minutes.
Track the possible rain in your town on our website. Go to KTVL.com.
Local fire crews taking over command of the Bulls Fire. CAL FIRE left the city of Weed today, where flames destroyed and damaged about 150 structures, including homes, last week. One CAL FIRE strike team will still remain in the area to help clean up. Weed Fire Department captain says the turnover isn't going to affect homeowners from getting the attention and help they need.
If they need something, we can provide personnel to help them out.
Now, he says it could be at least a year to rebuild everything in Weed. Investigators still don't know what started the roughly 500-acre fire. Truckloads of donations from all over the country pouring in to help the victims in the Bulls fire.
But now a lot of that stuff really has nowhere to go. News 10's Molly Trotter explains what volunteers are doing to turn clothes into cash. Molly.
Dave, Trish, it's almost something you have to see to believe. The love from this community and surrounding areas really shown through donations and really helping out anybody coming through these doors. It really touches you. Now, those donations, anybody who walks through those doors can see that. But a lot of these donations really have no home to go to. In a city where the face of Mount Shasta is a daily reminder that winter weather isn't far off, many can look the other direction and see homes turned to rubble, hoping to rebuild them in time.
Pots, pans.
Donations have poured in for the Bulls fire victims who lost everything in last week's fire, but now that's left people like Lova Harris with the Salvation Army an abundance of donations to sort through.
We have filled many tractor and trailer loads of items. The communities around us and the states around Weed have all stepped up and are providing assistance to this community. But right now they don't have a home, and so the donated items, they have nowhere to store them.
Volunteers like Andrew Ogden helped to fill these semi-trailers full of donations to be taken to another sorting site, and he says he's just happy to help the city that helped him get on his feet.
We were homeless, me and my family were homeless for 7 weeks, and we got lucky. We got a place here in Weed. Out of everybody else, we got a place here. So, to give back a little bit won't, it doesn't hurt at all to help this community and anything that needs to be done to help. Rebuild. I mean, this is our county. This is us.
Just south of the fire, Hope Community Church in Mount Shasta is so full, Jennifer Summers decided to turn clothes into cash.
Shop today through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday we'll have a free clothing giveaway so that others in need in the community can come and have their needs met as well.
Summers says each day new items will be laid out, giving people a wide variety to shop from. That money from the sale going right back into the community for relief efforts.
We set a big goal of $10,000. We would love to raise that much, and more would be awesome.
Aside from cash and gift cards, another need this city could use is volunteers.
In the weeks to come, they're going to need help with volunteers coming to help sort through and clean up.
Summers says without the generosity of donors and volunteers, these victims would have nothing to turn to. But one thing she sees every day, endless piles of hope. Covering your news in Weed, Molly Trotter, News 10. This is a heap of donations that came out of one truckload from Chico, and that's just one instance showing just how much support is surrounding this community for the victims here from the Bulls fire. But if you cannot make monetary donations, cash or gift cards, you're said to take those gathered items that you have and drop it off at your local food pantry, Salvation Army, or Goodwill. Covering your news live here in Weed, California, Molly Trotter, News 10.
Molly, thanks. Get the latest updates on the Bulls fire right on your smartphone. Just download the News 10 app, available on Apple and Android mobile devices.
City of Ashland looking to expand their wildfire hazard zone tonight. Ashland Fire Department says it does not want a repeat of the Oak Knoll fire in Ashland in 2010. That's when 11 homes burned in a fire. They say expanding the wildfire zone within the city will help clear out dry vegetation and keep more residents safe. But the fire department says fires can happen anywhere.
Throughout our community over the last 20-30 years, we have numbers of fires that demonstrate a wildfire type behavior while not in what we would consider a wildfire zone.
Neighbors will be able to give their input on the wildfire zone at a meeting this Thursday. Jackson County also has guidelines to keep homes safe in wildfire zones. Buildings must have a minimum 100-foot fuel break around them. Fuel breaks are buffers of no vegetation to keep flames from growing larger than 1 foot. Wood cannot be used as roofing material, and address signs must be posted where a driveway meets the road. And now a story still developing tonight. Police in Grants Pass under investigation after an officer-involved shooting last night.
As News 10's Caitlin Conrad explains, the shooter left one man dead.
The typically quiet Grants Pass neighborhood off Blossom Drive was shook up Sunday night when firefight erupted and one man ended up dead.
I woke up, I thought I heard firecrackers.
Neighbor Betty Wright says the commotion woke her up in the middle of the night, but what she heard wasn't fireworks.
Firecrackers just really going off, and I thought, who in the world is doing this? I would say about 8, maybe 10, and now I realize it was gunshots.
Police say it all got started when police were called out to a neighborhood dispute and reports of a man acting crazy and firing a gun. Officers say he ended up barricading himself inside the house and SWAT had to be called in. That's when police say the man began shooting from inside the house. Multiple rounds of gunfire were exchanged and then he ended up dead. Just who that man is and his history with police, still unknown.
We had prior instances at that residence with a subject, whether that's the same one or not, I do not know.
Interim Chief Bill Landis says 3 Grants Pass officers fired off their guns and he confirmed the subject was shot. However, an autopsy needs to be completed before a cause of death is determined. Those living in the neighborhood say the whole thing has left them on edge.
Because it's just in our neighborhood, you know, just basically at the back of our house, and you know, I'm just concerned about our safety right now.
All 3 officers who were involved in the shooting are on paid administrative leave, while investigators comb through the residence to try and figure out exactly what happened. Covering your news in Grants Pass, Caitlin Conrad, News 10.
Chief Landis says this is the first officer-involved shooting the department has had since the 1980s. Medford Police want your help getting the area's most wanted suspects off our streets tonight. Trish is in the news center with Lieutenant Mike Boudreau to take a look at the suspects officers put behind bars last week, some of them thanks to your tips.
Thanks, Dave. And first, we're going to take a look at the suspects that you guys caught up with in the last week or so.
Yeah, we caught 2 folks,
Okay.
which isn't bad. You know, the last couple weeks we got 5, so we toned it back a bit. But we got Guillermo Gutron. We talked about him July 14th. He was wanted for possession and distribution of cocaine and methamphetamine. We came across him actually just on routine patrol, and the officer recognized him. And then Cody Bridgman Wise, we talked about him in September. He was wanted for theft, heroin possession, and another theft, and an officer came across him as well.
Okay, and you're actually looking for this guy right here. He's one of the suspects wanted tonight.
Yeah, Christopher Page. He's 30 years old. He's wanted for car theft and attempting to elude an officer. Basically what happened in this case is a gentleman at his pickup truck was doing some work nearby, saw the truck start up and take off, and because he made the report so quickly, we found the truck right away driving, and he luckily pulled into a dead-end road and jumped down and bailed on foot, but we caught him. So now he has failed to appear in court, so
Right.
he's up here, yeah.
Need to get him back behind bars. All right. And coming up later in the show, we'll show you the suspects on Medford's most wanted list this week. Lieutenant Boudreau will also explain the crimes he says they committed to get there. Dave?
Trish, thank you. Still ahead tonight on News 10 at 6. A bistro racing to become the worst rated restaurant on Yelp. The discounts one chef is giving to tackle what he says is 21st century blackmailing. Plus, a wedding party at the mercy of Mother Nature.
Whatever happens is going to happen, but we are going down the aisle.
The type of ending one couple's special day had with flames and ash looming nearby.
And here's a quick look at today's high temperatures. They range from the upper 60s along the coast to the mid 80s, upper 80s in some cases in the inland valleys. There's a cool down coming and some clouds and some rain. Talk about the details of that next on News 10 at 6.
On Millionaire with new host Terry Crews, Kevin has the perfect +1.
Last season, he was on this show and won $250,000. Wow!
Will his Lifeline deliver? Find out this week on Millionaire.
Tonight at 6:30 on News 10.
Driving starts at Lithia Volkswagen of Medford, the only certified VW dealer in Southern Oregon. We have a great selection of new and factory certified used VWs. Shop north, south, east, or west. Then let us show you just how great your deal and shopping experience can be.
Only for a limited time, get our lowest price ever on a new 2014 Jetta. Just $15,995 for a new loaded 2014 Jetta S Automatic.
Save time, save money, and shop local. Stop by Lithia Volkswagen of Medford or visit us online at lithiavw.com.
Remember this?
We've been creating a huge national debt, now $10 trillion plus debt that our children are going to have to repay.
That's why Oregon sent Jeff Merkley to Washington. 6 years later, Merkley and the administration have added $7 trillion more. Our children, they'll be writing checks to China. Jeff Merkley said he'd be different. He isn't. Oregon needs effective, accountable leadership. We can't afford Jeff Merkley. Freedom Partners Action Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Howdy, folks. I'm Little Joe. We're down here at the Grants Pass Merlin Moose Lodge. I like the service you get down at Jim Siegel. Set me up in this Dodge Grand Caravan. I'm really pleased and happy with it. And the wife, she just loves it to pieces. It's all electric. I mean, the doors open up by themselves. It's something else. This old cowboy don't have to work so hard getting the missus in the stagecoach. I save time, money, no hassle.
And that's three's enough. Jim Siegel, Nissan, Honda, Chevy, Grants Pass.
Crime Stoppers works. If your report leads to an arrest, you could receive a reward up to $1,000. Watch Tuesday on News 10 at 6 and 11. Your connection to Crime Stoppers is Rogue Credit Union.
Today is Monday the 22nd, the autumnal equinox. Daytime high temperatures on this first official day of fall range from the upper 60s in Chicago to over 100 in Phoenix, Arizona. Thunderstorms still showing up here and there across the nation. The southeast corner of the U.S. getting some action as we speak, as is portions of the desert southwest, New Mexico, portions of Texas, and even farther to the north into Colorado, Utah, and the Central Plains states. And of course, we're finally starting to get some rain in the Pacific Northwest as well. You can see scattered shower activity across the entire area. Thunderstorms right now primarily in eastern central Oregon, with a lot of lightning strikes possibly sparking new fires in that region, unfortunately. But we're also starting to get a little rain right here in southern Oregon and northern California. At this point, the bulk of it confined to the coastline, especially in the Coast Range Mountains, and for the most part, a little bit farther to the north than we'd like to see it. But there's a much better chance for rain coming our way starting tomorrow night, lasting all the way through Friday. So we have something to look forward to. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies tonight, with a chance of a shower or two along the coast and a chance of the thunderstorms east of the mountains tonight. Overnight lows ranging from around 40 to 60 degrees. At the coast tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. Daytime highs around 65 to 70. Small craft advisory flags for hazardous seas will be up for at least the next couple of days, frankly, if not beyond. East of the mountains, mostly cloudy as well. 75 to 80 for daytime highs, and watch for gusty winds, especially in the afternoon out of the south. That could be moving some smoke into your region. Up in the mountains, low 60s at Crater Lake, low 80s in Prospect, with clouds in the morning, then partial afternoon clearing before the clouds roll back in again tomorrow night. Same for the valleys of Northern California. Cloudy early on, then some clearing, then the clouds come back. Daytime highs range from mid-70s to the mid-80s, maybe even upper 80s out toward Happy Camp. And again, look for some gusty winds in the afternoon out of the south. Mostly cloudy in the Rogue, Illinois, and Applegate, with daytime highs around 80 to 85. That's about average for this time of year. 7-day forecast for the Brookings area shows rain starting tomorrow night and lasting all the way through the end of the week. You'll dry back out for the weekend. At that point, daytime highs will climb again to near 70, especially towards Sunday, Monday. Klamath Basin also look for clouds and rain Wednesday, Thursday into early Friday morning, with sunshine for the weekend. Northern California, again, same situation, big cool down. Highs falling all the way down to the upper 60s by Thursday. Look for clouds and rain Tuesday night, tomorrow night, Wednesday, Thursday, and perhaps Friday. Same for the Rogue, Illinois, and Applegate. This is a good news, bad news forecast. Unfortunately, if we get heavy rains very, very quickly, it could be coming down in areas that were burned over the summer, and that means we might be dealing with mudslides.
But that's not a good thing. All right, thanks, Kevin.
You bet. We'll be right back with more News 10 at 6.
Marrying my husband was the happiest day of my life. I was proud of Oregon and our country.
Paul Rummel and Ben West are one of the couples who filed suit against the state of Oregon.
But there's a lot of work left to do, whether it's standing up for equality, or for the unemployed, or for the next generation. We need leaders who have the courage to do what's right. That's why I support Monica Webby for Senate. I know she'll fight for every Oregon family, including mine.
I'm Dr. Monica Webby, and I approve this message.
Original reporting right from the start. Isn't it good to know we take your morning as serious as you do? CBS This Morning.
My dad's hands were calloused from his work at the mill. With those hands, he built a better life for our family. And as men and women clock in across the state, thousands of hands are building a stronger Oregon. But there are still special interests who want to give tax breaks to corporations who ship our jobs overseas. So I wrote a bill to make China play fair on trade, and I fought to end deals that outsource our jobs. I'm Jeff Merkley, and I approve this message because the best foundation for a family is a good-paying job.
Harry & David is now hiring Class A CDL drivers and forklift operators for second and third shifts, now with new wages for CDL drivers. No travel needed. Our Class A CDL drivers stay local, moving trailers in our yard and conducting lot checks. Our forklift operators drive a variety of lift trucks and move materials and products in our distribution center and storages. Receive generous shift differential pay by working second or third shifts. Work for Harry & David and drive local. Apply today at our employment center located at 2800 South Pacific Highway, Medford.
When you hear the words Honda and clearance in the same sentence, you've got to move quick. Right now at Cascade Honda, it's time to, well, clear out all the remaining Hondas. There it is again. Honda and clearance in the same sentence. You can save a bundle on one of the best and most versatile cars on the road today. And you know, no one's going to treat you better than your friends at Cascade Honda. Honda clearance, fully translated, means win-win. Cascade Honda, your only hometown dealer.
Stay connected to KTVL.com with any of our smartphone and pad apps. Get your News 10 on the go. Brought to you by Lazy Boy.
The most wanted suspects in your community tonight. Trish is in the news center with Lieutenant Mike Boudreau, who says these are suspects hanging out on our streets but should be locked up behind bars.
All right, thanks, Dave. Let's go ahead and get to the suspects who are wanted this week. First up,
Dawson Pourbear. He's 29 years old. He's actually from Washington, has a lot of convictions out of Washington for a bunch of offenses. We came across him in a stolen vehicle not too long ago. He pled guilty to that. He's on probation, and he skipped out on his probation. He could be around here, but we think he may be in Washington.
Okay, next up.
Jeremiah Richards, he's 29 years old. He was actually caught breaking into a home. The homeowner found him inside the garage, and luckily the suspect stayed on scene until we got there and found some property on him. So he was lodged that night, but he has since failed to appear.
Okay, and third suspect tonight.
Jennifer Shagash, she's 42 years old and wanted for theft, heroin, meth, all sorts of charges. We just, every time we come across her, if she's got drugs on her, we'd like to know where she's at.
Okay, and last up tonight.
Connor Lewis, he's 20 years old. He's actually wanted for his involvement in a robbery. He's actually on parole for that, a robbery that occurred a few years ago at the Little Market. He used a gun in that. We caught him right away. He was sentenced and all that stuff, and now he's out, and he skipped out on his parole.
Okay. So. Thanks, Lieutenant Boudreau. And remember, if you see any of these suspects, contact Medford Police immediately. As always, you can remain anonymous.
Coming up on News 10 at 6, a bride-to-be's worst fear loomed just a few miles away.
Those were the days that we were fretting a little bit with the ash and the heavy smoke.
The wedding that almost went up in smoke, next on News 10 at 6.
Alan Bates has been in the Oregon legislature longer than it takes to go from first grade through high school. Yet Oregon schools rank second worst in high school graduation rates. But Bates continues to support a one-size-fits-all approach and votes to block new education reform at every turn.
Alan Bates deserves an F.
It's time for new leadership, new ideas, and new direction.
I believe it's time we invest in our children.
Vote Dave Dotterer for Oregon Senate.
Due to the huge response, the 5K is back while selections last. Get $5,000 off MSRP of every new 2014 Ford Fusion and Escape in stock at Crater Lake Ford. Choose from 75 new 2014 Fusions, 35 new 2014 Escapes, and every single one of them is $5,000 off MSRP. Don't be left out. When the 2014s are gone, the 5K off will be history. The right cars, the right prices, and the right experience. That's Crater Lake Ford. Online at craterlakeford.com.
A lot of furniture stores want to say they have quality. It's probably an overused word in the furniture industry, right? I can't speak for other stores, but I can tell you that at Garrison's, we have 3 quality standards that every piece of furniture must meet before we'll sell it. Am I confident enough in how it's built and the price that it's being offered at that I would buy that and be proud to put it in my house? So at Garrison's, we have a huge selection of furniture that meets our quality standards. So you get to come down, find that perfect piece of furniture for you, and be proud to have it in your home.
We are government-funded problem solvers.
We have a combined IQ of nearly 700.
Hard work requires interaction with people. It's not our strength.
I can't calculate without order.
Here, one piece.
That works.
They can help her connect with her son.
Checkmate in 8 moves. This kid is amazing.
Your son is a genius.
She can help them connect with the world.
You're scared. Take a deep breath and solve the problem. It's working!
Your mom did that.
Scorpion, CBS Tonight.
Your news and your weather are always free at KTVL.com.
Wildfires burning across the west tonight. Firefighters let some residents back into their homes after wildfire forced 60 homes to evacuate near Forest Grove. Meanwhile, the 36 pit fire jumped the Clackamas River. The fire has burned more than 5,000 acres. The flames are 45% contained. The massive King wildfire burning in California may be threatening 12,000 homes, but it didn't put an end to one couple's wedding ceremony.
Mohan Shirkat attended the wedding that took place just a few miles from the fire lines.
Whatever happens is going to happen, but we are going down the aisle. It may not be this aisle here, but it will be some aisle.
Even with an 80,000-acre wildfire, they were determined to make their wedding work.
This is not something that would be abnormal for Roman and I. We're kind of fly by our seat of our pants type of people.
When flames started ripping through the Pollock Pines area last week, Jamie and her soon-to-be husband Roman said the wedding must go on.
We not only worried about a wedding possibly being moved or canceled, we worried about rehearsal dinners.
Jamie's identical twin sister Julie planned to hold a rehearsal dinner in her backyard before the King fire forced her to leave her home.
She had to come stay with us during the evacuation, so the fire has very much impacted us. Those were the days that we were fretting a little bit with the ash and the heavy smoke.
But luckily, Julie was allowed back into her home, and the wedding plans started falling into place once again.
I'm just happy for it all to turn out the way it has.
The wedding was held in Camino, just a few miles from the King fire.
You may kiss the bride.
Family and friends watched as the two said "I do," knowing their love for one another will outlast the fire that almost canceled their wedding.
I now present to you Mr. and Mrs. Rudy and McKenna.
My heart's full for sure.
And check out this video. Seahawks player proposed to his girlfriend after Sunday's game. Cornerback Deshaun Sheed popped the question on the field, surrounded by family and friends. While he was on one knee, the scoreboard above said, "Will you marry me, Jessica?" as Bruno Mars' "Marry You" played in the background.
In just a minute on News 10 at 6, a restaurant that doesn't believe in organic food. The sign the chef posted on the front door after dealing with one too many picky eaters. Next on News 10 at 6.
In Southern Oregon, we do more, and we need more from what we drive. Nissan cars give you more versatility and more options. And our entire inventory is at lithianissan.com. Get a new 2014 Note for $12,960, a new 2014 Maxima for $26,745, or a new 2014 Altima for $21,035. More of what you need in a car. More of what you want from a dealership. Lithia Nissan of Medford. Shop online at lithianissan.com.
Alex?
Jenny?
Carlos?
Alex? Carlos?
Good morning, burrito team. We set out to make a bigger, tastier breakfast burrito, and I think we nailed it.
Introducing Bigger, Better Breakfast Burritos. The Grande sausage packed with hash browns, sausage, and creamy sriracha sauce. And the meat lovers, stuffed with ham, bacon, and sausage, both wrapped in a warm Guerrero tortilla. Burritos so big, they make everything look smaller.
We get our speed from Mom and Dad. They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery.
Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days on all sale or non-sale items.
Go to the coast. West Coast Appliance and Furniture, 3 miles north of Costco.
Stay connected to KTVL.com with any of our smartphone and pad apps. Get your News 10 on the go. Brought to you by Black Bear Diner.
Restaurants across the nation installing electronic tablets for you to order food. Chili's diners can now order drinks, desserts, and pay the bill with the technology. Other eateries like IHOP, Applebee's, and Panera Bread may soon follow suit. Restaurant managers say the tablets cut down on labor costs while improving diner satisfaction. One California restaurant striving to make it to the bottom of Yelp's ratings. Botto Bistro is giving out discounts to customers, leaving it a 1-star rating. The bistro's owner says the campaign is a boycott to online rating service, claiming they bury negative feedback in exchange for buying advertising on their page. Yelp denies moving reviews, good or bad.
San Francisco restaurant owner says he's fed up with hard-to-please customers. Get this, the owner of So Restaurant posted a sign on his door saying, "We use MSG. "We don't believe in organic food, and we don't care about gluten-free." Owner posted the sign after he says he got back-to-back demands from multiple customers.
There's a ton of places to go around and get gluten-free or non-MSG, and there's no reason to turn around and start going after a guy trying to run a business.
Owner says he closed temporarily last week after someone refused to pay because they did not enjoy the meal.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with another look at your News 10 7-day forecast.
I just upgraded and got all the best new apps and features. And in 2 years, I'll upgrade again to the latest Toyota.
With affordable 2-year Toyota Care leases, you can upgrade to all the latest Toyota technology and safety advances as often as you update phones. And it includes no-cost maintenance throughout. Right now, get a new Camry for just $199 a month for 24 months. In the Northwest, we go with the latest and greatest. Toyota, let's go places.
Looking for a new RV? Look no further. From travel trailers to motorhomes and everything in between, Courtesy has the right RV for you.
We shopped around in Medford. We did the RV Palooza, and as it turned out, the best deal was right in our backyard.
That's right. We got a better RV, better deal, and better service at Courtesy RV here in Klamath Falls.
Save yourself time and money. Shop Southern Oregon's best selection right here in Klamath Falls. Courtesy RV Center, 1405 Crater Lake Parkway.
Tell me more about the Charter Spectrum Triple Play.
You mean the best TV, internet, and voice?
Charter Spectrum Triple Play.
TV.
200 free in Sweet HD, 10,000 on demand. Instantly. I'm not just the operator. Dish to dish, I'm your liberator.
Charter Spectrum TV, just $29.99. Call 1-844-552-999. Charter Spectrum high speed means no slow down. 60 megs, I like the way that sounds.
Say goodbye to DSL. Say hello to Fast As.
Charter Spectrum Internet, just $29.99. Call
1-844-552-999. Charter Spectrum Voice Unlimited Talk.
Zero fees and features that rock.
Crystal clear connection, say hi.
Charter Raiders, standing by. Charter Spectrum Voice, just $29.99. Call 1-844-552-999. Yeah.
1-844-552-999.
Your news and your